Hi, I am Lizzy Pass with the Pace of Richmond Real Estate Group, and I'm
Hi.
here with.
Hi, I am Ryan Pass. I'm the general manager with Two Men on a Truck.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in today, Ryan.
Glad to be
Okay.
here.
Yes, good. So you've been a mover with two men in a truck for how long?
Since 2011, so 14 years.
14 years. Oh my gosh.
Well, I
So,
started as a mover. I'm the general manager now. But
oh, no big deal. You just started from the bottom and now you're here, right? Okay, cool.
yes,
So you started as a mover. How long were you a mover?
for a couple years, like 1 or 2 years. And then I became a driver. I was a driver for 4 or 5 years. And then since then, I've done basically every job at the franchise, all
So
the way up to a
you
general manager.
so you know some stuff
Yeah,
about moving.
definitely.
Just a little bit. Okay, gotcha. Awesome. Okay, so what is me being a realtor, the moving I'm like, bye clients, I'll see you later, by the time they get to you. What is something that real estate agents should know? Like, what's one thing that real estate agents totally get wrong about moving day?
So I think one thing that real estate agents have a trouble with is I guess it's not necessarily their fault, but closing dates are always moving around.
Yeah.
And so whenever people have scheduled movers and then the date has to change because they don't own the house yet,
Yeah.
is always a complication that we do our best to work with people on. And we can provide storage and other
Oh.
ideas like that to help to where if their closing dates don't match up and they have to be out of one house before the other, then we can hold stuff on the truck overnight or do some other options like that to
Ooh. So
assist.
if the S hits the fan and closing date moves, which it often does, so yeah, you can actually like hold on to their stuff in your truck even.
Right.
That's cool. Okay, cool. Well, that's nice. So yeah, maybe us realtors, as we know, closing dates move. So helping you can help your clients and our clients with that. That's nice. Yeah. Okay, good.
As long as we have the availability.
Of course, yes, because you're very busy. Okay, cool. Well, what is the best advice for your customers when they are preparing to move?
So making sure you're like packed and prepared and have everything ready to go is the number one thing. So some of the most complicated items to move are like pictures and lamps. Those are like the things that people don't think to pack. And so our movers don't know necessarily the value of a picture or lamp. And so if it's something that's of value or that you want it to make to the unload in one piece, then you should put it in a box. So basically when we're moving, it should be boxes and furniture.
Yeah. So literally, like everything should be boxed up.
Yep.
Don't just have like stray items that
Yeah,
you're.
that's the most complicated thing for us to deal with is
Yeah.
trying to put all the random stuff safely into the truck,
Because you do
especially if it's fragile.
pack people's whole houses for them. If
Absolutely.
That's like a service that you provide.
Yes, if
Yeah.
they would like for us to help pack the whole house, or if they just want help with the china cabinet or just the pictures and lamps, we're happy to help with as much or as little as they want. But just when we'd like to know when we arrive if we need to bring some boxes.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, yeah, because we chat sometimes about people and their moving experiences, and yeah, if you've sometimes you show up and you're like, oh, you customer thought that you maybe overestimated how much packing you'd have done by the time we showed up.
Yeah, and some people think that they're move ready, but they haven't packed a lot of the items that they want us to move. And
Yeah.
if they're fragile or breakable, then it's hard for us to say, yes, we'll take that as our responsibility, even though it's not prepared to move.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to say yes, customer. I'll just throw this picture in my car and it'll be fine.
Well, in
Nah.
the big box truck with all of your furniture and everything else.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because you guys are like when our clients are picking a mover, you always say like make sure they're actually they have insurance and they're not just like not just two guys in a truck. They have to be two men in a truck.
Right. So you want to find somebody who has a DOT number or a Virginia number. It's a license that you have to get in order to be an official mover. But yeah, I would look for Google reviews and making sure that they're somebody that you could track down if something were to happen.
Yeah. If something breaks, for example, that's
Right.
probably the most common.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the most common issue is that something gets scratched or dinged during the move.
Dinged. Okay, cool. Well, what's the weirdest thing you've ever moved?
So we moved a lot of weird lamps. Some, like a stained glass lamp that wasn't just like the top was stained glass, the whole thing was stained glass. And so it took a lot of
What?
paper and a lot of box to protect that and make sure it was going to make it in one piece.
How big was the lamp?
It was like a floor lamp, but it was all
Uh-huh.
stained glass, just completely all around it. It was wild.
So like by the time you finished wrapping it, like here's
I had to
the
put it in a
lamp is
wardrobe box
Oh.
because it was so tall.
So it looked like you were moving like a giant piece of furniture, but it was just mostly padding.
It was a lot of packing paper, and
No.
we have paper pads as well that we use for items like that.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. So yeah, so even if you think that like you have like maybe an apartment full of stuff, like oh, the padding is actually going to take up a lot of space, and that's why you need like the full truck.
Yeah, I mean, we use furniture blankets on all the furniture, and then we secure it to it with tape and or stretch wrap. And then, yeah, we normally bring about 60 pads per move. Or we have 60 pads in each truck. And so they go a long way towards protecting all your stuff and making sure it's going to make it in the condition we received it in.
So you're like kind of strong, would you
Yeah.
say? Like you've got some really nice arms, I would say. Like some
Thanks.
muscle. Yeah, okay. It's just in my notes, so I had to say it. Okay. So Ryan, what's the biggest, like heaviest thing you've ever moved?
So the heaviest thing is definitely a gun safe. We've moved some pretty heavy gun safes, and the biggest is probably either an entertainment center or an armoire. Some of those can be pretty large. A lot of them, the entertainment centers come apart into 4 or 5 pieces sometimes, so it's not as cumbersome. But armoires can definitely be 7 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and
That's going on the truck for sure.
yep,
Yeah.
and it's not easy to get there.
Yeah, I gotcha. So is that like, are there some things that you can't move because they're just so giant?
So we're not allowed to move anything
Not
over.
you. I mean, you can move anything.
We're not allowed to move anything over 750 pounds.
700. Okay.
So.
So what is that?
Pretty much has to be a gun safe or a grand piano to be over that weight limit.
Grand piano. Do you see a lot of those?
We move baby grands.
Yeah.
But they're not as heavy as the grand pianos.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
probably move 2 or 3 a year, not a whole lot.
And can you move? So you can move anything like TVs and stuff. Those are pretty breakable, but you can move those.
Yeah, they need to be in a box
Yeah.
if we're going to move them.
Okay, cool.
We have rental boxes if you just want to use ours for the day, but
I gotcha. Okay. Do you think that I'm cute?
definitely.
Oh, great. Okay. Just again, have to ask. Okay, great. So so you're married to me.
Yep.
Yeah. How long have we been married? Do you remember?
Since 2018.
2018. That's right. Oh my gosh. So we have moved to 3 separate houses together.
Yes.
Yeah. More than that.
4, yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that I am helpful in the moving process?
You're great at getting things packed
This
and ready.
is on the record. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm great. Okay, talk more about that.
About how helpful you are?
Yeah. I would not say that I'm very helpful compared to you because you're very good at wrapping all the like
Glass
plates
and-
in the glass.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm
Protecting
just
all of
like
it.
I can throw all this in a box, right?
Yeah, you're just shoving stuff in bags and boxes.
Yeah.
But it's helpful. It's got to happen.
Thanks. Good, good.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me as a realtor partner? Because we work together a lot. I send a lot of clients your way. So do you have any questions for me as your realtor and wife?
So, do you think it's harder to negotiate with clients or more difficult to keep your car clean with 2 kids?
Oh, that's really hard to say. Car. You've seen my car.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
have.
bad. It's really bad, and I'm in my car all the time with those dang kids and the and just all the showings that I do. So, yeah, that car's a mess. But there have been some challenging negotiating situations. So
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right there.
And what is your favorite surprise to find in a listing?
Favorite surprise to find
Yeah.
in a listing? Oh, like a good surprise or a bad surprise?
I don't know. You tell me.
um, I think that, well, I'll go in there and I'll check. I mean, I've seen some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just I was at a showing in Museum District this morning, and I looked in the breaker box. And this building's from 1937. So I was like, what is the breaker box going to look like? It wasn't in this situation, thankfully. But sometimes I look in those breaker boxes and it's like fuses, like from the early 1900s. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, they have not done a lot to prepare this home for the 21st century. So yeah, definitely lots of negative surprises. But yeah,
I feel
no,
like you like to post about fun wallpapers or interesting
that is
bathrooms.
nice. Oh, I do freak out when I get a good wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, a really funky one. So yeah, no, you know the answer to that better than me then, wallpaper.
Or a
Wow.
black toilet.
Oh my God. Oh my God, a unique toilet.
Yeah.
The dream. We get green toilets, we get pink toilets, we get tan toilets, we get black toilets. Yeah, if you want to make me super excited about touring your home, please put a funky toilet in there.
And what do you think makes you a great real estate agent? And what are your greatest challenges?
Oh my God, honey. I want you to answer that question, but I will also answer that question. Okay, so what makes me a great real estate agent is I do have a ton of energy. So that helps just because it takes a lot of like drive to do this job.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely not just, somebody calls me and I go show them a house. Like, no, I have to go like be talking to people constantly so that I can go find people's houses that my other clients can buy. Like you got to just make sure you've got high energy on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Which I sometimes have. And then what was the other thing? Why?
Your greatest challenge?
Greatest challenge? I work too hard and I care too much. I do care way too much though. That is sometimes the challenge of like getting really emotionally invested with my clients' situations. So sometimes I do have to take a step back and talk to the team and be like, okay, I am definitely in this. Like, what is an outsider's perspective of like, okay, what do we need to do next? So yeah.
Sometimes the answer is take a step back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The
Okay.
empathy helps me a lot. And sometimes rein it in a little bit.
Okay.
What challenges do you face as a handsome mover man?
I mean, hiring is probably our greatest challenge this time of year.
Yeah.
Hiring and training. But yeah, it's a busy time of year, so it's exciting.
So hiring and finding like good movers that are gonna take the time to pack your stuff and wrap it real nice.
Right. Who are going to take good care of everything and do a great job.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So if you want to be a mover, talk to this man, my husband, because
Yeah.
we need more good
It's a
movers.
fun job where you get to go out in the community and meet a bunch of interesting people, and no day is ever the same.
Yeah, you get to go into a lot of weird houses.
Yeah.
Like see a lot of weird stuff. So it's like being a realtor, but just with more manual labor.
Definitely.
Let's think about each other
Okay.
as I do about you constantly. Love of my life.
And now you.
If you had to do my job for a day and I had to do your job for a day, how would we do? How would I do as your job?
I don't know. I think I would be all right at your job.
Okay, cool. All right, well, question answered.
Just doing it for a day would be easy, but doing
Yeah.
your job consistently and having to do all the networking and finding people that need to buy or sell is the hard part of your job, which I'm not as good at that.
What are you talking about? You're very charming.
Sure. But as far as my job, you don't have the knowledge of the moving industry or
That is true.
the same rapport with the crew and everything. I mean, it's
Oh, can you imagine me going out chatting with your crew in the mornings?
Yeah.
Like, okay, guys, we're going to go move some stuff.
I mean, there's 2 or 3 general managers in our group that are women, so
Oh, yeah.
it definitely can be done, but it's something where you have to get to know everybody and
Yeah.
yeah.
Deal with everybody's different quirks.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I would probably cry day one. But you think you could be a realtor for a day. I can see you touring a home.
Yeah, I can manage, I think.
Actually, I have seen you tour a home. You've come to a few showings with me.
I have, yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
I mean, I like looking around the homes. I'm not necessarily the best at selling the home. I'm more likely to point out
Really?
the things that I don't necessarily like about the home,
I recall.
whether they're personal opinions or facts.
And you were like, "Oh, that you're never gonna fit anything in that bedroom. You'll never get furniture in there."
Oh, this stairwell is way too tight. You're not going to be able to move anything
no.
up there.
Yeah, a lot of opinions from Ryan Pass. A lot of opinions.
I mean, it's better that they know now that they can't put anything more than a small chest of drawers up in the second floor of their home.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, maybe the energy we were talking about. Maybe keep things lighter sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
We just deal with customers who buy these townhomes a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, you just can't have large furniture if you're going to buy this townhome with these tiny stairs. And people find out after they've bought the home, and that's not always great.
Not always great. Yeah, have there ever been any moves where you had to, like, angle yourself in a weird way? Like,
That's pretty
just-
consistent with
Yeah, just all the time.
anytime there's a move with the stairwell, especially if the stairwell has a turn or 2 in it, then yeah, you got to like reach out and like, if it's a large piece of furniture, I mean, it can get pretty awkward.
Are there any, like, condo buildings where, like, anywhere in Richmond that you're like, this place is the worst? I hate moving things to these buildings or anything like that.
So I think our greatest challenges around here are like the 4-story townhomes where it's just,
Oh, yeah, the new ones.
yeah, they just go like a circle. You're going up the stairs in a circle, a spiral the whole way up, and it's just very tight. And some of them are very small stairwells, and like you just can have too small or too large of a headboard, and
Yeah.
we can't take your headboard up the stairs. There's just no way to do it.
So
Or
you're
even
just getting a new
other
headboard.
regular furniture, like even just a larger dresser.
Yeah.
If it's too long, too tall, it won't go.
Ah,
And so when you're buying one of those homes, make sure that you know that your furniture will fit up the stairs.
and once you get it up there, you're not allowed to leave. You have to live there for a long time.
As long as you own that furniture.
Yeah. It may not come back down with you.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah, like I said, we're pretty married for like 7 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you have married me if I decided not to be a realtor and you couldn't get a lot of clients from me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
I had no idea you were going to be a real estate agent when we met.
Oh, I always knew.
You were working with a nonprofit.
It's true. I was. Yes, I was. And but you were always a mover, like as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
How did we meet?
Mutual friends.
Mutual friends.
Thought we would be a good match.
Yeah, and that is not a code word for Tinder. That's real.
No, yeah.
Mutual friends is real.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we met through mutual friends back in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Been together. We've lived in Greenville, South Carolina, and Richmond together since then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were kind of long distance for like 2 years.
Yeah, at least a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah, we made it though.
Yeah.
I didn't cheat on you.
Nor I.
Oh, amazing. This is on the record.
Right.
Right. Okay, cool. So, okay, good. Well, thank you. Glad we got all that off our chest. Thank you so much for coming in today. And I look forward to working with you and living with you in the future.
Mm-hmm. And raising our 2 kids.
I love you.
I love you too.